Hark! It's an 87th Precinct Podcast bonus episode. This is the bonus episode for our look at the book Kiss, the 44th of the 87th Precinct novels. A tale of courtroom drama and romantic drama and twists and turns, and we rated it very highly. Will we rate the book covers as highly, is the question. So, what I will do is I will go straight to Mr. Morgan Brown to have a look at the very first one I sent over, which is the US hardback edition.
Okay, assuming I'm looking at the right one, I think I am. So what we've got is it's kind of like it looks a bit like a charcoal kind of drawing with some kind of colouring in of a subway platform, with an oncoming train. Got some fairly sort of striking perspective going on. And that's pretty much it, really.
It's another one that looks like a photo that's gone through an Instagram filter, doesn't it?
It does a bit, yeah.
I quite like that. Looks quite moody.
Yeah, even though the subway train bit of the book is played out on like 2 pages at the start and then is never mentioned again.
Well,
that's true.
Having jumped to the other ones, it's got more relevance to the plot than the others.
Oh, well, you can explain the US paperback one then, Steve-O, which is the next one down, or should be.
It's just a black cover with black, even blacker, well, a grey cover, I suppose, with black Ed McBain, and then a green kiss that's like written in blood, and then with a big pool of blood under it, which has no relevance to anything, really.
No, it's a bit. I mean, in
1
terms
out
of
of 10.
I'd be pushed to go to 1, really. It's William Morrow and Co. published the hardback. Avon published the paperback in America. I'll describe the next one, which is the UK hardback, which is a black cover with the words Ed McBain in big red letters, and then a very airbrushed, cartoony lower half of a lady's face with a sort of puckered lips. No teeth showing on this one. And then it says a novel of the 87th Precinct. And whilst I'm at it, I will also describe the UK paperback edition, which is also a sort of black background. It just says McBain Kiss, his new novel of the 87th Precinct. And then it's a different close-up of a mouth, of a kissy red lips with, well, I thought it was her teeth, but now I'm looking, it's not really got any divisions between the actual teeth, so maybe she's got a polo in her mouth or something.
I assume it's meant to be teeth, but I know what you mean.
There's an extra strong mint in, something like that.
You do wonder why they bothered to redo the cover, since it's almost exactly the same.
Yeah, they're not good. The only good thing about the cover of the UK paperback is that you can take the cover of Widows, which is like the eyes and a nose and a veil, and you can stick them together to make a sort of weird face.
Yeah.
So I'll do that, and I'll put it on the Instagram.
Cool.
And I've thrown a bonus one in there, which I'll give to Steve-O to describe, which is an Italian edition.
Yeah, well, this is the opposite. A lot of detail. There's Mrs. Emma Bowles in her fur coat running away in a snowy scene from being pursued that looks like a Ford Granada, trying to run her down, which I'm sure it wasn't, and a lady, all coloured in pencil drawing this, it looks to me.
Yeah.
And you see the skyscrapers in the background and a lady with a pram onlooking.
Yeah, so that'll be the Swedish girl who comes in to say she saw something happen at the start.
And Emma Bowles is kind of running out of the picture towards us, going, ah! That's what it looks like, anyway.
Very much so.
I quite like that one, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I like the Italian editions, the Il Giallo.
Very literal.
It is literal, but it's got a nice pulpy feel to it still, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it also gives the impression that whoever's designed it has actually read at least part of the book, which, feels like a bonus.
Yeah. So we know that the US hardback, they've read at least chapter 1. Yeah. This one, they've read at least chapter 1 and 2, the Italian one. And the rest of the designs, they've just looked at the title.
Yep.
And that's it. How do we score these? Not highly, I don't think, really.
No, I think the first one. The first one, I quite like that. It's a bit of atmosphere to that. The others are all total garbage, apart from the Italian one with the Ford Granada.
Those UK ones, I think we were saying the last time that we had some designs that were reminiscent of sort of, I don't know, Jackie Collins novels or something, and it's very much along the same lines as that, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. Well, I mean, the UK publisher was William Heinemann in hardback and Mandarin in paperback, and this is the last book that they put out for McBain in the UK. So we should, in theory, have a different design for the next book we come to. Anyway, so what editions have we got? I've got just the UK paperback version.
As have I.
I have, yeah. Mine cost $4.99 when it was new.
Yeah, mine too.
Mine also.
It cost me 50p when I bought it from wherever I bought it.
Yeah.
It's got a big list of all the books in order, though.
It has.
Which is a very, very rarity, I think. Which I know those newer editions, the Orions are they have, but quite rare for an older one.
Yes, I mean, 1992, but like we say, it's 29 years old now. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, it's just rubbish design, isn't it, really? There's not much to say. But what is there to smell is the question. See, I've remembered this time.
Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. Kind of a old wardrobe. Kind of a old wardrobe odour.
All right. I'm just looking at mine from the top, and I noticed some pages are slightly yellowing.
Yeah,
I'll go in.
Kept well, this. Must be like poor quality paper milling.
Mine's very papery smelling, funnily enough, but
not wardrobe.
Yeah, there's not much there, not much story to that smell in my one.
Okay, well, let's have a go at this one. Oh, it's disappointingly bland.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're rubbing it along a carpet.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of sort of discoloration to the paper on this as well. So I thought there might be an interesting odor to go with it, but no such luck.
Just crap paper stock.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyway, cover design by Button Design Co. And I'm afraid they've had very bad reviews from us over these last few books anyway.
Yeah. They need to button up.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, yeah, like I say, we'll see what comes of the UK editions from the next book, which should be different. Let's get into a bit of 1992ing then. I was going to ask, actually, because I haven't asked this for a little while, what have we been reading outside of the 87th Precinct recently? Morgan, before we started, you were telling me about a Neil Stevenson book.
Oh, yes, that was my most recent thing. I just finished the Fall or Dodge in Hell by Neil Stevenson, which was in characteristic style is a 800-page brick of a book.
I was going to say, they're always the size of a house.
But, like, as usual as well, completely fascinating and compelling, a really good read. I'd very much recommend it. It's one of these that you're sort of thinking about for a good couple of weeks after you finish it.
He's a fascinating writer, and I've sort of got several house-sized volumes on my shelf, which I try to gird myself for reading at some point. What have you been digging into, Steve-O?
I read last week Recoil by Jim Thompson. I don't know,
yeah.
Have you ever read that?
I think I've got it downstairs.
It's the
I
one
can't think whether I've read it now.
A bloke gets he gets released into the custody of this guy in this southern US town, released from prison. And you know he's there for some reason, but you don't really know why, and it's all a bit strange. Yeah, that was good, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read that one. I've never read a bad Jim Thompson, though.
No, exactly, no. That's it's one that's been on my bookshelf for probably 10 years, just sitting there, as one does, hoards books, and I just thought, I'm in the mood for one of them. Yes, that was good. And then I'm chipping away at my 900-page Harold Wilson biography, which is very interesting, but you don't really want to read 900 pages to the exclusion of everything else, so I'm about halfway through that.
Has it got to the point where he sees his pipe and goes, a pipe? Yes, a pipe. That's what I'll have.
He's not quite Prime Minister yet. That's so about 1960 I'm up to.
Excellent. Yes. Well, I've been trying to read a few more of the paperback science fiction books I've got on my shelf. So I read one called The Watcher by Joanne Palmer from 1986, which was a very interesting, slightly comic tale about supernatural space entity bird women and Earth as well. But it was really, really good. I say inherited, it makes it sound like she's passed away. I got from my friend Frances Peacock a lot of sci-fi paperbacks when she finished her MA in science fiction, and she couldn't bear to look at them anymore. So they would either have gone to a charity shop, but instead they came to me and filled my house up instead. And that's one that's been sat there for a long time. And I enjoyed that very much. I like dipping in between other books to the sci-fi shelf and just, having one of the smaller sci-fi books, not the Neil Stevenson sized ones. But I don't know. I might get stuck into a big book again. I haven't read any big books this year yet, anyway. So there we go. That's some catch up with our reading, but let's catch up with the past and the music of 7th of January 1992 is the date that the book was copyrighted. So that's when I've taken the charts from. And interesting stuff. So I'll go from 10 till 1 on the US charts to start with, and we start with at number 10, Wild Side by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Amazing.
You go to number 9. We've got Finally by, I'm going to assume I'm pronouncing this right, because I don't think I've ever said it out loud. C.C. Peniston?
Yes, I can see how you might have paused to just wonder how that surname was pronounced if you hadn't heard it said before. Yeah.
8 is Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, which is the George Michael Elton John duet. And at 7, we come to an absolute classic here. It's Adam's Groove by MC Hammer. Which was Brilliant. The single attached to the Addams Family movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And can't fault Hammer. But number 6 in the American charts, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. So that's our most high profile grunge one, isn't it, so far?
Quite, yeah.
But he's in a Hammer sandwich. Kurt Cobain is in a Hammer sandwich because at number 5 is Too Legit to Quit by MC Hammer. And at number 4, it's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday by Boyz II Men. So smooth.
Very smooth.
And at 3, it's Can't Let Go by Mariah Carey. Don't know that one. Number 2 is All for Love by Colour Me Bad.
I think they may have just had more hits in the States than they had over here. I don't remember them having many more hits apart from I Want to Sex You Up over here, but it's quite enough for anyone, I would have thought. But
yes, let alone all 4 with 4 as a number. Love, quite what that means, I don't know. I'm sure the lyrics explain it adequately. And at number 1, it's Black or White by Michael Jackson. So let's move on from that to the UK charts. So number 10 in the UK charts. So this is interesting in the sense that America, we've got that big slab of grunge right in the middle, like the flagship single for the grunge movement. Here at number 10 in the UK charts, we've got Everybody in the Place EP by The Prodigy. Which is probably representative of as important a movement going on here in terms of dance music.
Pretty significant cultural shift going on. I guess it'd be music for the jilted generation around then, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's easy to sort of go, guitars, and just say it's grunge is the big thing that emerges. But the fact that you've got The Prodigy in the top 10 is interesting. And we've got, above that though, we've got Goodnight Girl by Wet Wet Wet. So we've not fully dedicated ourselves to rave yet. No. And at 8, same as in America, we've got Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by George Michael Elton John. And at number 7, we've got Rhubarb and Custard by Shaft.
Oh, gosh, yeah, well...
That was just the Rhubarb and Custard theme, wasn't it?
With, I think, the Rhubarb and Custard theme with a banging rave beat.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great, that.
It was, those are the days.
Yeah, I think I'll have to share that one on our Twitter feed because if no one knows Rhubarb and Custard, and anyone who's not British probably doesn't, it was a great theme tune in and of itself. But
Is that the one that went?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's basically the high watermark of all dance music.
Yes, indeed. And at number 6, we got When You Tell Me That You Love Me by Diana Ross. And that's, in what would be probably, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, fourth decade of Diana Ross hits.
Indeed, still knocking out the huge torch songs.
Yeah. We've got at number 5, Too Blind to See It by Kim Sims.
Kim Sims. I don't remember that one.
No. At number 4, we've got Adam's Groove by Hammer. I was looking on the official UK charts, it just had it listed him as Hammer.
Yeah, I think he sort of rebranded himself at some point, didn't he? I don't know at what point he dropped the MC, but yeah.
And at number 3, we've got a song by everyone's favourite mask-denying idiots, Right Said Fred, with Don't Talk, Just Kiss. Why they're in the news? Because of their anti-mask stance. Just weird people. Number 2, Justified and Ancient by KLF featuring Tammy Wynette.
Fantastic.
That's great, really, isn't it? It's just weird that was at number 2.
Just the fact of them getting Tammy Wynette to sing those lyrics is terrific.
Yeah. And at number 1, we have the double A-side, presumably, of Bohemian Rhapsody and These Are the Days of Our Lives from Queen. Quite a few good albums come out, but we'll get onto our album picks in a little bit. I did struggle, actually, but there's a few good things coming out there, especially, I must mention, special mention now, Tubular Bells 2.
Oh, yeah.
Or Mike Oldfield makes the most of those notes again. He's only done 3 versions of Tubular Bells, hasn't he? Or has he done a 4?
No, he did Millennium Bells, didn't he? And did he do Tubular Bells 3 as well? I have a sneaky feeling there might be 4 versions.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, well. We always like to mention Mike Oldfield because we've got a close friend who really, really likes him, and yeah.
But he's touring, I think. A thing pops up on Facebook the other day for booking tickets at the Royal Albert Hall. For Tubular Bells' 100th anniversary next year.
100th anniversary. Like the idea you could have bought it on wax cylinder.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, let's go to the cinema for a little bit then. Highest grossing films. Any thoughts? 1992?
Well, I had a look at the bloody... I thought the cinema was absolutely dreadful in 1992.
Yeah.
Fairly slim pickings, weren't there?
Yeah. What was big that I saw on there? Maybe Last of the Mohicans. Was that quite a big one? Or The Unforgiven?
It didn't get into the top... Neither of those two got into the top 10.
Batman Returns?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Batman Returns got into the top 10 at number 6. Who were the baddies in Batman Returns?
Catwoman and the Penguin, I think.
Oh, yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
The Christmas movie of the series.
I might have seen that in the cinema. I might have seen that. Might have been one of the... We went as a family to that. I certainly saw one of the Batman movies in the cinema. I don't know. I may have blocked it out.
Been a bit of a renewed spike of interest in it. I think in the last couple of days there's an on-set video of Michelle Pfeiffer has surfaced with her sort of doing the thing where she whips the heads off these mannequins in a single take.
Yes, I've seen that.
It's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. And then skips off using the whip as a skipping rope. It's a strange one, that really. Yeah, so that's in the top 10 anyway. Well, let's. I'm going to go from 1 to 10 this time. I'm going to count down. So from Aladdin is number 1.
Oh yeah, of course.
Huge. Like I say, we've been talking about the Disney revival. It's really in full swing here, taking $504 million. The Bodyguard.
Oh God.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The important thing about that is that Dolly Parton made a lot of money off the success of the song from that.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Yes, because Dolly's brilliant.
Yes.
Then we've got Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Oh, God, Trump.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to not think about that now, isn't it? Number 4, Basic Instinct. So, big thriller. Number 5, Lethal Weapon 3. I don't think I've seen Lethal Weapon 3.
I might have done. I don't know. I lose track of which one's which.
And then we have Batman Returns. And we have A Few Good Men. I don't think I've seen that, actually.
No, I was reading down the list before, and I thought it took me quite a while, and I was thinking, I'm at this rate not sure I've ever seen a film made in 1992. But there wasn't. To be honest, there wasn't a lot.
No. Again, I struggled with sort of coming up with something. Sister Act is at number 8.
Oh yeah.
At above Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, that's a big yawn fest, isn't it?
I know. Another supposedly more authentic retelling of the tale that isn't at all.
Yeah.
And then at number 10, Wayne's World, which at least is worth watching. And there's some odd things come out, like, you mentioned Last of the Mohicans, things like that. We also have things like Glengarry Glen Ross, probably one of the ones that's had the best reputation. You have Alien Cubed, Alien 3, which I maintain is still a great film, even though people do not agree with me, generally speaking. And the other giant monster film, Beethoven.
Oh, God.
And Pray Silence for the Lawnmower Man, a film which is that most wonderful of things, a thing that tries to tackle the technology of the day and predict the future, and in doing so condemns itself to look out of date almost immediately.
It looks like the whole thing, I seem to recall, looking a bit like the video for Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Yes, it does. In fact, now it looks like an outtake from Tomorrow's World where they were demonstrating something that would be the future, and it's never turned up again. But, yeah.
Am I right in thinking that this is also the last time when we can discuss the year's Carry On film?
Oh, did I mention that? Oh, gosh. Have I missed it?
I think it's this year, is it?
Do you know what? You know what, Morgan? Thank heavens you're here, because everyone would... I will bleep the swear that I just did before. It's 1992. It's Carry On Columbus. How did I not write that down?
I was just looking at it because I looked at a list of some films that came out in the year, and it didn't mention Carry On Columbus, but it did mention several other films about Columbus, and I thought,
Yes, because of the 1492 Conquest of Paradise and the essentially anniversary of Columbus and 1492, the Carry On team, having not made a film since 1978, decide to make a new Carry On film called Carry On Columbus. Oh, Lord.
Were any of like the original gang in it? Well, not original, but like...
Well, Jim Dale was the lead in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
in 1992?
Yeah.
Blimey.
There's a few of the old crew, aren't there?
Bernard Cribbins is in it.
Yep.
Leslie Phillips is in it. Peter Gilmore's in it. June Whitfield's in it. They were all in. John Pertwee's in it. He was in a few. Frankie Howard was signed up, but wisely died before it was made. But the funny thing is then that they suck in all these sort of alternative comics from the 80s. So you have all these sort of anti-establishment figures like Rick Mayall and Julian Clary
Alexi Sale, I think.
Alexi Sale, all that sort of lot. But they're then in this big bawdy knockabout, and it's rubbish.
It's so terrible, I seem to recall, yeah.
Yeah, because it's directed by Gerald Thomas, who directed loads of them as well. So it's not like they've made any steps forward in terms of what they're doing. Have you seen it, Steve-O? You've not seen it then?
No, they're just awful, those films, aren't they? Absolutely dreadful. So, no, I haven't. No. Another one from 1992 I've not seen.
Yeah.
My personal crusade never to immerse myself in the cinema of that year.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't believe that I almost missed that out there, really. It does have a song in it by Malcolm McLaren as well, apparently, so...
I somehow missed that aspect of it, but yeah.
Oh dear, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go through any more, but I am slightly tempted to just do a load of research now and find out how badly it was received, but I won't. We'll move on. Anyway, this is actually a watershed moment for this podcast then. It means that we can now, unless a new Carry On film comes out to trouble our attentions in the next few months, we'll not have to talk about Carry On again.
That's a bit of a shame. I used to like talking about it.
Well, I liked your guessing what they were called.
Yeah. But no more.
No, it's done.
Tragic.
Oh, there we go. Needless to say, they didn't have the last laugh because it wasn't that funny.
No. No one was laughing.
No one. Yeah. So what was on TV is the question. What debuted in 1992? Oh, well, I want to start in America. So obviously, the big hit in America over the last couple of years is The Simpsons. So everyone goes nuts trying to do quasi-adult/family animation stuff. And I discovered, so there's one I've heard of before called Capital Critters, which is an animation done by Hanna-Barbera, but helmed by Stephen Bochco of Hill Street Blues fame.
Oh, God.
About animated, like little vermin that live under the White House and their lives.
Okay.
7 of 13 episodes were shown. So, but I also discovered another one by Hanna-Barbera Animation that was trying to target that market called Fish Police.
Fish Police.
I mean, there's nothing more to say, is there, really? Fish Police.
Well.
I mean, wouldn't it be a strange world if it was
Fish
2021 and Fish Police was still on and The Simpsons had been cancelled in 1990?
Yeah, long since faded away, but thank goodness for the cultural milestone that is Fish Police, yeah.
And wow. I have a note here, 3 episodes before it was axed. Yeah. And then the other things I've mentioned are The Young Indiana Jones Chronicle, which...
Oh, yeah. That was a bit boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a craze, wasn't there, for doing the young so-and-so and all that stuff. It was all right, but yeah. And it's not sitcom, the soap opera Melrose Place, which ran till 1999. But
yeah.
That was quite a big one in America. What did we have in the UK? Well, in terms of soap operas, we had the glorious El Dorado.
Oh, good Lord.
Blimey.
Yes. That was an interesting one because we'd had some very well-established soap operas in the UK that had been running for decades, and then we had EastEnders in the 80s, didn't we? And then they tried to launch a new one.
Oh, yeah.
And it just it crashed and burned.
The glamorous lives of expats.
Yeah.
They built an entire village basically for it.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
It was ludicrous. Was
it BBC or?
Yeah. It was incredibly expensive and it was just ridiculously terrible.
Was it supposed to be like the Costa del Sol or something like that?
So, yeah.
Anyway, that disappeared quite rightly too. We had the start of Absolutely Fabulous, which obviously runs for a while, goes away, comes back, etc. Big favourite of Lorraine's. We have... Music-wise, we have the start of Later with Jules Holland.
Wow.
Thus upping the level of boogie woogie on TV 3,000%. But I'll give you £1 million if you can guess any one of the 4 acts that was on the first episode of Later with Jules Holland.
I'm going to say Paul Weller.
It's a good wise guess. It's not right.
I am going to say... No, I've got no idea.
No. It was the Neville Brothers.
Yeah.
New Colours. New Colours. Now, I don't know how to say this. De-influence? Dinfluence?
Yeah, all of those.
Dinfluence.
D-influence. And the Christians.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that would have been $1 million. Yeah, you'd have to work hard for that.
Yeah, I don't know where you'd fit Boogie Woogie onto any of their tracks.
Well, you'd find a way.
Don't you worry about that.
Dinfluence with the Jules Holland Rhythm and Blues Orchestra. Anyway, it sounds like I'm being really rude about Jules Holland, but it was quite an important thing for an opportunity to actually watch music, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great to see quite a lot of those things. Some episodes better than others. What else have we got? We've got Men Behaving Badly, which runs for ages on one channel with one actor, then changes and has been remade in America and all over the world. Heartbeat, starts, which is the lovely story of policing in the North Yorkshire moors.
Yeah, well,
that ran for quite a long time as well.
It did, yeah. Survived many a cast change.
Yep, the lovely countryside of the best part of the world, North Yorkshire. And we also, what else have we got? We have the adaptation of the Chamomile Lawn, which people watched not just for the nudity, I'm sure. And we have the Michael Gambon Maigret series.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've sadly never seen.
No, I saw it when it was on first time around. I remember when I've got some Amazon vouchers burning a hole in my pocket, and I thought I might buy that on DVD or something, because, it's one of those things. I don't remember it ever being repeated.
No.
Which is really odd, given that ITV have got about 7 channels devoted to reruns of shite they've made in the past.
Yeah.
It's just weird, isn't it? It's really odd. Why would that be?
I don't know.
Given that
they turn up on BritBox or something.
Yeah, they've just got so much crime stuff they show all the time. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
Because it was really good as well, so it's not as though they wouldn't show it because it was awful.
Yeah.
So a bit of a weird one, that.
And the last one I want to mention is a program called Gamesmaster.
Oh, fantastic.
Did that just start in 1992?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd have thought it'd be older than that, but maybe not, actually. Those graphics wouldn't have come cheap in the 80s, would they?
For anyone who's never heard of Gamesmaster, it was a program where people played computer games on different video systems for the entertainment of the viewing public. But the important thing was the Gamesmaster was world-renowned astrologer. Astrologer was world-renowned. Oh God, he'd kill me.
A man who would have probably never operated a computer in his life, this guy.
Astronomer, world-renowned astronomer. I was thinking, make sure you say the right one, and then said the wrong one. World-renowned astronomer Patrick Moore as the giant floating computer-enhanced head called the Gamesmaster, which was just bizarre. Oh dear, sorry, Patrick.
Yeah, a man who, as I say, probably never operated a computer in his entire life, I suspect.
No, lots of charts and pencils, I would have thought, for his observations over the years.
Absolutely.
And I will quickly just pop over to Australia to mention Bananas in Pyjamas, which was a kids' program which went around the world as well. And we must go to Canada because I discovered one of my other favourite things in the world, which is a drama based around a band. So dramas based around people being in a musical group or band are always brilliant and terrible.
Yeah.
And this one is called Catwalk.
Ooh.
So there's a band called Catwalk, and it's all about their dramas and their lives and their whatever. And it looks like it's all on YouTube. I watched some of the first episode of it. Oh God, it looks atrocious. Oh, it looks brilliant.
Sounds wonderful.
I would dig out Catwalk and just watch them playing a version of Money, That's What I Want, in a really 80s sounding style, even though it's 1992.
Can we just go back to Gamesmaster? Because I've made the mistake of clicking on, for example, the celebrity guest. Right, I'll give you £1 million.
All right.
If they're from the sporting arena more than anything else. A celebrity guest. Well, I'll throw in season 2 as well, but season 1.
Well, can I guess Kevin Keegan?
No, but you're not a million miles away from there.
I'd have liked £1 million.
Stuart Pearce.
No, you've got John Fashanu, Eric Bristow.
Oh wow! No,
these are in no particular order. I'm just going for edited highlights here. Jimmy White, Kendo Nagasaki, episode 7.
Brilliant.
Barry McGuigan, series 2 opened up with Tony Slattery, followed by Frank Bruno. You had to wait till episode 6 before Jim Duggan was on.
Blimey.
Bob Holness, episode 13.
Fantastic.
Vic Reeves on episode 90. Vic Reeves, then Gordon Burns, then East 17. My God, brilliant.
I just like the idea of Kendo Nagasaki playing Alex Kidd in Miracle World or
Yep.
something.
Randy Savage was episode 22 of season 3. Wow.
That's great. I assume they had the wrestlers on actually playing wrestling games, which would
I hope
be
so,
really good
yeah.
fun.
I hope Jimmy White was on playing Jimmy White snooker.
Yeah, well, it must have been
Yeah, I thought so.
fantastic.
Oh,
Anyhow.
how strange times. Anyway, let's get on to our personal picks for 1992. And seeing as Steve-O's been so down on everything from 1992, I'm going to go to him first to find out what he's chosen for his music and his film.
Well, the film, I really struggled with the film, and I thought, yeah, I'll go with that. And then when we started this, I think I'd forgotten what I'd gone for because it was so rubbish. I think I ended up going for Under Siege with your man Seagal, but yeah, it's a pretty good film that actually, and is obviously, needless to say, completely ridiculous. But yeah, I just wasn't really inspired by any of the films.
Is he a chef or something?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, classic Gary Busey in that. Yeah, he's a chef on a big ship. And Under Siege 2 was then on a train, isn't it? Where he's on the train for some reason. But yeah, he's got good Gary Busey in playing a baddie. So yeah, I'll go for that. But fairly ridiculous.
Oh, Erika Eleniak, who later turns up in some of the 87th Precinct adaptations as well.
Whereas music was a bit of a rip snorter of a year, I thought. It was both very good for grungy stuff, and also I was having a look, a bit of a renaissance for metal as well. I was thinking when I was looking through some of the releases. But I will cut to the chase, and I will go Blues for the Red Sun by Caius, which is an absolute top album, in my opinion. When I think Josh Homme is like 19 or something when they brought that out, 18, just like ridiculously young. Wasn't even their first album as well, but yeah, a bit of a high watermark in stoner rock metal-ish type stuff.
Yep.
Fair enough. Good choice. Choice. All right. Well, Morgan, then what have you selected?
Okay. Yeah. Well, film-wise, I mean, I think out of the slim pickings of the year, probably my favourite film from 1992 is actually Wayne's World. But since we've already mentioned that, I'd probably select Army of Darkness, which I think came out that year.
Yes, yeah.
Which you can't go far wrong with, really.
No, it's any film that has a Welsh skeleton in it running up to a camera and going, "Let's get out of here!"
Yeah, exactly. Terrific fun, isn't it? It's always love that Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell collaboration. It's always going to be good.
The subtitled "The Medieval Dead."
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great film.
Indeed. Fantastic. So that's my film. And then music-wise, I am going to go for Copper Blue by Sugar.
Oh, right, yeah.
Their debut album. It's a bit cheeky of me, really, because I already had a Bob Mould album in that I selected a Husker Du record a few episodes ago. But Copper Blue, his new band Sugar. It's still kind of punky, but it's a bit more varied. There's some kind of sort of semi-acoustic, kind of jangly kind of pop music on there. There's some psychedelia, and it was at the time for me like a really good sort of gateway record into sort of punkier territory. And it still stands up tremendously well today. Well,
Bob Mould's great. Yeah, excellent. Okay, well. I struggled with film picks, to be honest, because I mean, there are things like Wayne's World which are great. Like I say, I like Alien 3, whereas no one else seems to. I did consider Brain Dead, which is that Peter Jackson film. There's a film called Seed People, which is awful, but I have got that and own that. The Muppet Christmas Carol comes out in 92, which is lovely. But in the end, I've settled on Porco Rosso, which is a Studio Ghibli film about a Italian World War I flying ace who gets turned into a pig. But it's Studio Ghibli, and so it's beautifully, drawn and animated, and the story's great, and it's just, I just love the feeling I get watching Studio Ghibli films, and it's really, really good. So that's my pick for 1992 film-wise. And I struggled again for a little bit with music, because although there's some quite big and important albums in there, I was trying to think of one that really stood out for me, or one that I would have listened to a lot. And there's only one really. I mean, there's things like Dirty by Sonic Youth, which have since come to, which I really like.
Yeah.
There's an alright Ringo album from that year as well. But there's Automatic for the People by R.E.M. And so it's going to have to be that, because that's, that was one that made such a big difference to like, oh, people make music like this.
Oh, yeah.
I'd not really heard any R.E.M. before I'd heard that. So that was a big significant one for me. I had it on cassette, copied off a friend. I don't think I've ever owned an actual version of it. But yeah, it was a huge album. It's a great album. So can't really argue with that little slice of college rock.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so there we go. That's 1992 taken care of. We've told people all about Gamesmaster. And rhubarb and custard, of course. So seems fair enough, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Right, well, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll be back for fun in 1993 with Mischief for our next book, and our next load of cultural ephemera. No more Carry On films, Pray Silence,
You'll see a big dip in listener numbers from now on.
Everyone's just been waiting for a Carry On Columbus, and I almost missed it out. Terrible. Hey-ho. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will offer Steve-O the opportunity to do so.
Goodbye.
And Morgan.
Fairly well.